entrepreneurs now? Just a show of hands. Okay, how many women are aspiring to be entrepreneurs in the near future? Okay, just to piggyback off of what Ms. Russell had said earlier, this is a side topic. When I was a younger woman, coming into business for the first time, I did everything opposite what Ms. Russell said. So I was a young woman with very big dreams. I still have big dreams, but I had no business plan. I had access to cash. I just didn't know what to do with it right at that particular point. But I decided, I had a property, and I decided to go to the bank. And I said, how much would you give me against this property? I want to start a business. And so bank gave me $20,000. I just up and said I want to open up a beauty supply store, which I did. Really not doing the full research that I needed to do to properly manage a beauty supply store. I didn't know everything that I needed to know about products. I must say I really admire Ms. Thompson with her business, because if any of you have ever been in there, you know she knows everything in there. You know, it's always a pleasure to go in there, Ms. Thompson. But I did everything opposite. So I was very big-eyed. I had a huge space. And my mom was like, you sure you know what you're doing? I was like, yeah, no problem. I could not even buy enough inventory to fill this space. So that was mistake number one. Did not have a business plan. I still opened. My overhead was way more than what I was making at the time. And I just remember sitting down one day in the back of my office, and I cried. I cried till I had no more tears left in my body, because I was just going down. I could not keep up with the bills, and it just consumed me. And I just made a decision. I said, you know what? For now, I need to close. I need to regroup, and I need to reposition myself. And I closed down, but it's just to tell you that, like they said, it's a process. You know, and you have to do your research. You need to get a business plan. You need to know exactly how much money you need to inject into your business. And it was a process that I had to go through to get to where I'm at today. So that was just a story to let you know, the ones that want to get into business, please take everything that all of the presenters have to say today. You know, take it and try to implement it in whatever it is that you're going to do. Even the ones that are in business now, because you may want to go back and inject money into your business, expand, or whatever it may be. You know, just take everything the presenters say. But moving forward, I am a project manager at the Ministry for Grand Bahama, and I will begin with my presentation on duty-free concessions for East and West Grand Bahama. Okay, so due to the hardship that Grand Bahama in particular faced, with the hurricanes and then with the world recession, Grand Bahama was one that, you know, is still coming out of that recession. We have not reached where we need to be. So the government decided that they would implement duty-free concessions for East and West Grand Bahama, so that those residents and licensees would enjoy some of the benefits that the licensees in Freeport take advantage of. And so they implemented duty-free concessions on the importation of capital goods. And they did this by making an amendment to the Tariff Act, July 1st, 2014. So the regulation is still fairly new. It's been in effect for 1 year now, and currently we have about 30 businesses in East and West Grand Bahama that benefit from these concessions now. Okay, so these are the applicable areas outside of the city of Freeport. So anywhere outside of the boundaries of Freeport will be able to receive concessions under this regulation. Okay, who is eligible to apply for duty-free concessions? So the first thing is, an applicant must be a current business licensee of the Bahamas government, and that is in either East or West Grand Bahama. That's number one. Number two, the licensee must have a minimum expenditure of $5,000, and I will break that down for you. You have to show to the government that during a period of 1 year, you plan on investing a minimum of $5,000 into your business. That does not have to be all at one time. So the first month you can come to us and say, okay, I need $1,000 worth of goods to invest in my business. And if the items that you want to import or purchase locally must be for the purpose of your business, must be a capital good. Go back. The following month you can come back and say, okay, I want to invest $3,000 into my business. So it's just to show you that you don't have to invest the full $5,000 at one time. You have over a year to invest a minimum of $5,000, and that is including if you want to build a building, if you want to purchase capital goods for your business, if you want to expand. Those are just some of the items that we allow to be covered under these concessions. So these are some of the type of companies that's already benefited from the concessions now. So we have Outriggers in Smith Point. They're considered in East Grand Bahama. And that's a bar, and they actually have tourist activities there as well. So they wanted to expand into that. We have the Russell's Funeral Home in West Grand Bahama. They expanded as well. They got more hearse, those type of things. So go to the next. What is considered capital goods? Building materials, equipment, furnishing, fixtures. Okay, so we have, for example, let's say Bishop's in East Grand Bahama. He would like to expand his lodging area. Capital goods for him would be considered wood, plywood, because he needs it to build another building for his lodging. So that's something under his type of business that would be considered capital goods. So anything for the construction, the rehabilitation, the remodeling of an existing building or a new building would be considered capital goods. So, let me just, for retail, you could bring in shelving, you can bring in your cash register, you can bring in slack walls. You cannot bring in the consumable goods, which is your clothing, anything that you are going to sell. Those will not be considered capital goods under this regulation, and it's not considered capital goods under the Hawksville Creek Agreement either. So we try to find a way to level the playing field in most instances. The government has also decided that vehicles will qualify under this regulation for the purpose of your business. To qualify for a vehicle, you will have to write into the ministry, who will in turn send it to the Ministry of Finance. You have to show the need for a vehicle for the purpose of your business. So let's say you have a business and you deliver items. It's easy for you to show the need for this vehicle because you make your money purely off of delivering. So the ministry will consider a van. The ministry will not consider you putting in a letter for a Mercedes-Benz, for a daycare, which we have had already. We've had some instances where we've had letters from Mercedes and BMWs for daycares and other little businesses that do not require a vehicle for the purpose of their business. So let's just make sure that it is. We've had businesses in West Grand Bahama that do fishing and crawfishing, and yes, we've given them trucks to be able to pull their boats and those equipment that they need to manage their business. So they will be considered capital goods for the purpose of the business. As far as gas is concerned, once you have an approved vehicle, the gas is done on a rebate basis. So you will go to the gas station to a regular duty paid pump. You will not pull up to the bonded pump like those persons that are licensees at the Grand Bahama Port Authority. You will pull up to a regular duty paid pump. You will pay for your gas and get a receipt. After you accumulate, let's say, a month's worth of receipts, you will bring them in, and the ministry, actually customs, will reimburse you for the amount of gas that you spent. They will look at the difference. The receipt will show the bonded price of the gas and the duty paid price, and customs will reimburse you the difference of the gas. So, this is just another example of a qualifying vehicle, a construction company. They have to deliver their lumber, they would need it for building purposes or what have you. So that's just a type of vehicle that would be considered for a construction company. Another benefit that the government decided to do was to offer homes. I don't want to say bonded, but no, go back. Go back. Yeah. No, right there. Okay. Once a business shows that they have injected a minimum of $5,000 or more into their business under this regulation, and they want to come in and they want to purchase a home in the East or West area, it must be in East or West Grand Bahama. The government has decided to allow them to build a home where they dwell, them or their family dwell, one time for a duty-free home. The government, you put the next one. They will not allow you to bring in duty-free items if you want to assist, like, for instance, your mother with her roof. Let's say your mother's roof is leaking. It won't work under that. That's what we have urban renewal for and other social services. But for the business owner, under this regulation, the government will allow you a duty-free home. The home must be in the name of the business because it becomes an asset of your business. Okay, making an application. You can come up to the Ministry for Grand Bahama. I'll just show you briefly what the application looks like. The application is right here. Attached to the application will be a list of items you need to bring along with your application, which is your current business license, your passport or passport for all the shareholders in your business, your national insurance card, your certificate of registration from the National Insurance Board if it is a new business, and if it is an existing business, you will need your national insurance letter of good standing. You will also need quotes of the capital goods that you intend to import or quotes that you intend to purchase locally. If it's a permanent resident, then we require their permanent resident card, which will have to show the right to work in their own business here in the Bahamas. Yeah, go. So this is the first two photos will be an example of the application, an approved application. That's your business license that you would get from finance, which is what you need to accompany your application. Second would be your application that you get from the Ministry for Grand Bahama. And once that is approved, you will be given a certificate that looks like this to the end. That certificate you will use to take to customs to clear all of your items. Customs will acknowledge that as a licensee under this regulation. Okay, just to reiterate what I said, once you import your items, but before you import your items, you would need to go to customs. Show them your certificate of approval from the Ministry for Grand Bahama. Show them you will also get this form will also be given back to you, which will have a stamp from the Ministry for Grand Bahama with all the approved items that you're allowed to import. And customs will use that to register all your items and to allow you to bring them in duty-free. Now, if you're purchasing over the counter, we have made contact with various companies already, like Kelly's, Dolly Madison, the gas stations, that are part of this regulation already and will acknowledge your certificate, which you would get from the Ministry for Grand Bahama. And once you produce your certificate with your list of items that is approved from the ministry, they will allow you to purchase duty-free items here locally. And this is just something that we added to show businesses that are strictly reserved for Bahamians versus businesses that, foreigners come in and they have access to or take advantage of. I have with me frequently asked questions and answers brochures if anyone wants more information on the duty-free concessions for East and West Grand Bahama, or if anyone has questions now, I can take questions. previous.
Just the one exclusively for Bahamians.
Go to the beginning. Right there. Right there. Mm-hmm.
Says reserved exclusively for the wholesale and retail operations. Is that just a general, any wholesale and retail operation?
I think it is general. I can get more clarification on it for you though, if need be.
Okay, the real estate domestic property management means a foreigner cannot come in at all inside of a real estate company. It has to be owned and operated
By a Bahamian, but they can have a Bahamian partner. Yes. Yes, they can have a Bahamian partner.
Bahamian partner that is 51%.
Aha.
Okay. Okay, we can go to the next slide. All right, so even with like the security services, if it is a foreign company, let's say it's an extension of, say, ADT,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's a foreign company, it has a 51% ownership.
Bahamian. It would be considered Bahamian. And ADT itself would just be like a foreign brand.
It would be a foreign
Yeah,
brand,
it would be a foreign brand.
And so basically, once you have businesses in the east and west Grand Bahama, they have the same benefits as a bonded company in the Freeport area.
Yes.
So basically, the benefits of the hospital agreement is just now
Extended.
to like this rest of the
Yes.
island.
However, with the vehicles, your vehicle could go through the whole of Grand Bahama. There's no boundary for your vehicle.
So are there different licenses?
No, the license plate, you mean?
Yes.
No, you'll be given a regular license plate, a duty paid license plate.
Oh, it's just you wouldn't
But you will have your certificate that you would get from the Ministry for Grand Bahama.
So that when you import it, you won't be paying the import duty on it.
Exactly.
So if you have a business in Freeport,
Mm-hmm.
but you want a bonded car for your business outside of Freeport, you can still,
If you have an extension of your business from Freeport to East or West Grand Bahama,
yes,
if you have a subsidiary,
yes.
yeah, you can have a subsidiary company.
Well, when you say subsidiary company, I mean, you just want to open up an office in the east or west district.
Right.
Okay, well then I have another question. If I have, for example, I offer delivery service, I
Mhm.
also offer, I do presentations and programs in the east and western district, and I usually, if I'm not using my duty paid vehicle, I would have to borrow or rent a car.
But do you have a business in East or West?
I do not, but I'm asking, is there some type of exemption or application we can put in for so that our bonded vehicles can go? And go-
Not through this. I cannot answer anything on bonded vehicles in the city of Freeport. That's the Grand Bahama Port Authority.
But you can have a bonded vehicle for outside of Freeport, registered under the Ministry of Grand Bahama.
It'll be registered in your company's name, but it would be for your business in East or West Grand Bahama.
So we will take that off.
What is the turnaround time for concessions to be approved?
7 days.
What's the question?
Her question was, what is the turnaround? The maximum is 7 days would be if turnaround applications in a day, within hours.
And
So
when-
once the letter's received, let's just say me, I send a letter in asking to bring in a vehicle for my business in East End.
But you would have to provide all of the necessary.
Right, once I bring all
Mhm.
of that in,
Mhm.
usually, you're saying it's 7 days.
Mhm. Because that has to go to finance, the approvals on the vehicles go through to Ministry of Finance in Nassau. That would take 7 days.
I believe the question that was asked earlier on bonded vehicle, and I think what you stated is it's not actually a bonded vehicle.
No.
You have the rights, once you get your certificate approved,
Mm-hmm.
but your vehicle is not actually, it's a
No.
regular plate.
Yeah.
With the concession.
Right.
Once you have your license or your certificate from the Ministry of Grand Bahama, that affords you the benefits of a bonded.
Exactly.
Okay, I've got another question. All right, so when did these concessions begin?
July 1st, 2014.
Yes, that's July 15th. Have you found that it's been well received?
For those that know about it, yes. We've been doing some teaching in East and West Grand Bahama and the settlements in between.
Was it in the newspaper? Was it publicized?
It was in the newspaper. It was on the news, yes, from last year. Mm-hmm.
All right,
And we're still teaching. We're still going about. We've been to Smith's Point, Pindler's Point. We're still getting the little settlements now.
Okay, so you're basically addressing this to the settlements out even west, not necessarily to those already in Freeport already established.
No, but we did have a session at Freeport at Christ the King. Because persons did ask if they want to open up subsidiary companies in East and West.
Is this something that is just temporary, or this is something that the government is embracing fully?
They have embraced it fully as long as there is a need. As a matter of fact, as of July 1st this year, they've now extended the Family Island Development Encouragement Act, which now allows for residents in East and West Grand Bahama to get items in duty-free. They don't even necessarily have to have a business. Because before Grand Bahama was excluded, it was just for like Exuma, Eleuthera, the southern islands. But now Grand Bahama and Abaco has been included as of July 1st this year. So residents can now bring in, it's still capital goods. But let's say, for instance, they had damages to their homes. They can bring in those items now duty-free under that act. Or let's say that they want to do landscaping. Landscaping equipment is included in that act as well. Any other questions?
That's only for outside of Freeport.
Yes, that's for outside of Freeport. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you so much.